Talking.
Talking this shit.
He just be talking.
We live, baby.
We live?
We live for the first. We did one this year, yeah.
Yes, at the beginning of the year, January.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a minute.
It's been like
6 months,
January.
huh? Okay.
Welcome to the Cares None Be Dope podcast.
Be back.
I am your host, Chris Cares None, and I'm with my co-host, Derek Fisher. What's up, baby?
All is well. Good to see you, brother.
Sir.
King.
And we also have Tom.
I'm in the building, baby.
Hey.
Here we go. I know you guys. It's getting harder and harder
Yeah,
for me
right?
to see, but I'm here.
How y'all been? Well, first of all, Tom, how you been?
Man, how you been?
Because me and Derek already been on this.
You guys already caught up.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. Life's been good. The studio's been busy. Colt and I haven't killed each other yet, being cooped up in this place, so can't complain about that. And yeah, things are good, man. Summer's coming up, you know. What else is there to complain about? You know, I mean, life's good, dude. So I'm getting a new dog in a couple of like 2 weeks now.
What kind of dog?
It's a poodle. We have a household with some allergies, so poodles are kind of our one and only.
What about a golden doodle?
The golden doodles still have a little bit of golden, so they still shed.
A whole lot of
golden, yeah, we're looking forward to that. And yeah, man, I'm blessed. Can't complain.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Business booming. Business good.
Business is good, man. Yeah, we got there's a couple things in the works these days.
Yep.
And some are doing better than others, but good thing you got multiple things to make work, you know. So well, hopefully a slack of one makes up with the other one. So we're happy.
Sounds like growth.
Might I add the sliding shit right here?
Yeah, you guys see this?
My boy is
upgrade.
Level up, okay.
Yes.
I'm just excited to see this.
When did you get that?
Just a couple of weeks, not even a week. I mean,
groovy.
2 weeks ago maybe, and then it's been a little strange to use, but yes. So this slowly, when you guys are on camera, now it's gonna move slightly with you guys. Isn't that sick? We're all waiting. Come on, listen, you've been coming to me since the very beginning.
Hey,
yes, yes.
I'm one of the goats.
And I feel like every time you come here, we got something else new and a little different. So
I will say this: anybody who wants to listen, I'm giving this to Cares None vote of approval. So y'all know I don't play that. If you want to get I'm not just saying this, y'all. If you want to get your podcast up and you ain't got a way to do it yourself, come here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Chicago Podcast Studio.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to Tom. Go online, sign up. I'm telling you, you're gonna have a nice. They got different sets. It ain't even just they can change the colors. It's all quality. All I gotta do is sit back, relax, talk, have a conversation. I ain't gotta worry about pressing the damn button. Is the red light on? We did that. Remember?
I say you speaking from experience.
Yes, I'm talking about from experience. I had my own podcast, right? And it was me and Derek from like episode 1.
Shit, 1.
And I was the one always having to worry about switching it and making sure the sound, which means I literally couldn't focus fully on the conversation.
Right.
So obviously they couldn't be as good. Where now you go to a place, I know I'm sorry, he didn't pay for this, y'all. This is the truth. I promise you he didn't pay for this, but it's the truth. Logically, then you come here, you pay for, and all you got to do is just show up. And they got other services that I don't even know about yet, right? What else you got, Tom? Don't you got that services?
We do. We can edit things, and we do tons of random stuff here. I mean, the guy before you is an accountant. He's coming in. He's doing 26 sessions with us, and he's just coming in and talking about retiring. So we do all types of content here. But I appreciate you shouting it out, man.
Oh, that's just the truth. Just the truth. What about you, G? What you been up
Derek,
to?
you always got so many things going on. So I'm looking forward to this. How is life?
So I know it's been about 6 months. So life is cool. Life is becoming, the word that I've been using lately is adjacent. Life is becoming very adjacent now. So I think last time I talked to you all, I was just about to start my massage therapy training.
Yeah.
So I'm about 6 months into that. Just started my clinicals. And I also started working at the Stretch Lab. So I am now officially a flexologist right now. So I help people.
Hey, low key. That's a flex.
That's a flex. That's a pretty cool flex.
Is that cornball?
Yeah, right. That's a flex. No,
that's a flex. Quite literally.
I use that all the time too. But it's been pretty cool. Like I've been trying to like really. The only thing I've been really getting a grip with is my scheduling. Before I was kind of, ambidextrous about my schedule, but now I'm being booked. So it's like I'm here this day, this week. When you have clients, especially within the fitness thing, they want to work out this day every day on a Wednesday, you know what I mean? So it's been getting acclimated to that. But other than that, I've just been cherishing, understanding the body in a more intricate way than I have.
You said Stretch Labs, right?
Yep.
So my the only thing I could relate to that is my dad is coming up on 70 here, and he was talking about Stretch Labs. He's like just recently in his later part of his years gotten all into fitness and such, but he speaks so highly of Stretch Labs.
So
and I was like, he lives out in the suburbs, but he's been and like loves it.
Okay.
And so to me, I'm like, that seems like a somewhat of a strange business. I'm glad these things are popping up. But tell us a little bit more about
before you go on, Steve.
Yeah, you mentioned
he went to Stretch Labs, and he was like, "No, bro, they legit. This ain't you ain't just doing this. Like they gonna stretch you, and you gonna feel it."
That's the thing. A lot of people come in there
doing this.
No, for sure. And a lot of people come in there, and it's all types of people. It's people who just sit at work on the desk all day. It's people who trying to train for a marathon. I've had doctors who fucking sit in this, or nurses who sit in this position all day, trying to figure out this hip flexor or something like that. So people come in and they always do the same. You know what one of my number one clients are? People who work out religiously at the gym. Because they're so worried about pumping up iron and building muscle, but they never stretch the muscle to recover.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? So they're like, yeah, I'm getting this. I do this many. I do the squats. I got the deadlifts. I got this. Are you recovering your muscles though?
Nope.
So that's what I've been in to lately.
Well, I know I'm saying no because I lift 5 days a week.
Right.
And in the gym, Evan, shout out to Evan. He's our personal trainer, and he is like, no, it's a thing in the weightlifting industry. You get stiff.
Yo, okay. Oh yeah.
So you get strong and you look good and everything, but then you can barely move, and they're moving like this. So the people who take care of it, they smart. I need to do it too, to be honest.
And that's why the Stretch Lab, that's where that comes into play. You have people who know how to work their muscles so well, but no industry has been available to recover your muscles. That's why me getting into massage therapy, me getting into the Stretch Lab as a flexologist, I'm working in the field of recovering my muscles. Now, mind you, I still model. I'm still a model. But it's because I was a model as to why I'm even getting into massage therapy and flexology. I wanted to learn how to recover my body from doing all these strenuous ass poses. So now it's kind of even taking my life to another field where I'm in anatomy classes. I'm learning Thai stretching and Thai massage. And I'm learning like the roots of who are the first people to actually want to service the body and look at that as an entity. So I've been going down a rabbit hole.
So the Thai was first.
Thai, they have the deepest culture, but they kind of strive from a Buddhist culture and whatnot too. So it was all about the body and Zen and figuring that out in different ways. So the Thai massage is the most popular massage in the world. So I've been able to feed so many things. Like I've been able to dive into another culture, an ancient side of things, but also still be attuned with the body, figuring out how to create social media content around that, and just gaining skill sets that overall that has to do with the body that's adjacent to the modeling that I'm doing too. So I've been setting a lot of shit into play. It's been groovy.
It's been good, man. I'm so glad to hear that.
Thank you.
I want to say this about you. One of it's ironic that eventually what I chose to express was culture, like cultured angled things based on what I was before, because you've always, from what I remember, been a very culture, like interested, curious, to the point where you literally moved to Brazil. Like you have to really care about the culture to go live there. How long was it?
It was like 3 to 6 months or something like that. But I think I want to interject. Before that though, I fucking got a degree in anthropology studying cultures. So it's like this is what I had to do every day for 4 years, is study different languages, cultures, historically, ethnically, whatever entity you want to put on it. But you know what I mean? So it was a lot of that kind of going into my psyche already. So that's when I say I'm discovering people. It was already kind of part of my repetition. So I'm just trying to figure out now how to like figure out something that everybody has in common and then express that in the best way possible. And everybody has a body. So I've been like, okay, let me figure out the recovery side of the body that everybody needs. Everybody doesn't have that understanding.
Yeah.
So that's why the massage therapy and all of that training I'm going through, all of the flexology. Every day I have like about 5 clients at work, and I'm filling out their body, giving them about an hour stretch, doing about 26 stretches or so, different parts of your body. Let's say somebody comes in, oh damn, I sit for work. I'm Tom. Tom's
bro, I
sitting
need
there,
to
he's
see it.
slouched like shit.
I look like
He's
shit, yeah.
using his right hip flexor
Yeah,
right
man,
now.
your
It's
I
posture
all
is a
fucked
little
up.
fucked up.
His right scapula's fucked up.
I do just hop like
Yep.
this. I need
Yeah.
to talk. We're gonna have to
And we gotta
talk
He does that
after
all
the
day.
show.
We got to work
So,
on your scapula.
I got
man.
a perfect stretch for him that'll
Do your
fuck his
homework,
hips
bro.
up right now.
Yeah.
Hips will be wide open. And he'd be walking like
Pause.
sneakers old. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
shit,
no
bro.
diddy.
I
He'd be
might-
walking like sneakers old tool though. But what I'm saying is I'm learning like everybody is different. People come in, what is my stretch? How's my body? I'm like, bro, your walking gauge could be different than somebody else's. You sleep differently than somebody else. But the thing is, I don't give a shit what it is. I know how to recover you. So that's been my flex lately. And I've just been in tune with everybody's body. I feel about.
So you're into recovery.
Yeah, I'm into recovery specifically right now. Yeah, it's like
and there's
healing.
different ways you can hit recovery.
Right. And
So many different ways.
Right.
Oh, we need to talk about that.
We get into it.
Wow.
But that's me in a nutshell right now.
I think people sleep on recovery.
No, they
I think so.
literally
I'm talking
sleep
about-
is
I'm
recovery.
talking on all aspects of life.
No, they do.
Like even some trauma when you was a kid, you didn't recover from that.
We don't have a recovery culture, bro. We put motherfuckers in jail when they addicts.
Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Hold on. I had some magic.
Mushroom.
I don't even know if you can say that.
Oh,
I had magic ice cream with mushroom pasta. If y'all get my drift. And I had this experience, and I remember thinking like, I'm in just this great space mentally. How in the hell is this illegal? It's illegal to feel like that's crazy to me. And you grow, like whenever you're on that stuff, you grow. Like I feel listen, you know I'm not bullshit when I say this.
yeah.
Every time I've ever done that, the next day has felt like a level up in my like consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just feel like a little bit more aware human being about how I'm treating people. That I'll tell you the first experience with my boy Larry at the time. We're turned up right now. We in the sky. And then he goes, and then I remember there's this guy I used to work with, bro. He liked me. He thought I was a cool guy, right? If I knew his name, he worked with us. He was like a runner or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like right when we were working there. Anyways, he was a little weird though, a little quirky, you know, just kind of like a little annoying if I'm being honest. But he would always come to me and give me this extra energy, like, oh, like you're trying to be my boy. And I'm thinking like, you know, I wasn't like outright rude to him, but I just didn't give him the energy that he likes me. And like, who the hell am I to think that I'm better than him, right? I didn't come to that conclusion until I had this experience. So I'm sitting there talking to Larry. I'm like, bro, you know, because I was mean to that kid because he was different.
Mm.
Like, that's crazy. Like, who the hell are you? And I had that experience on that. And then I woke up the next day like, whoa, and I was so much nicer and so much more like aware of how I affect things. And every time I've done it, and it's only been like 5-6 times. Every time I've done it, I feel like I have dramatically become like a better person. I know that sounds crazy, but that's my experience with the stuff.
I think that's actually fairly common. I mean, a lot of people do whatever the heck that was, and
yeah, the magic cereal.
Yeah, the magic. We'll just call it the magic,
The
and
magic.
and people do typically feel a different sense of self after it. So no, I don't think you're alone in that, man. I think that's pretty common.
I'm like, whoa, you know. And listen, you're not always like. It ain't always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes a thought comes up like that one. It kind of hurt me in the moment. Like, damn, like, you know, it's kind of like, you being mean. It's just there's a negative frequency, negative energy, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So but I had the experience. Some people like that they might be scared of that. You know, they're scared of the flaws that they think or the inconsistencies or the insecurities that they have. I actually don't mind. Like, I don't mind falling into it, and I feel like that's why I have such positive experiences with it. Is because I don't mind seeing those parts of me that kind of suck.
Right.
That I feel like I should work on as a person. And sometimes you don't even know you need to work on them as a person until you have an experience that just open and you don't have a choice but to think whatever you can't control. Because normally,
just in that shit.
if you sit in, and the same thing with like being in a float tank. I don't know if anybody's ever done a sensory deprivation. You go into this room, right? And you're in the water, you're floating, it's pitch black, you don't see nothing, you know, and the whole idea is you're in a situation where there's no gravity and none of your senses work.
Right.
And then you have and it's for an hour. Some people do longer. And you have no choice but to sit there and be with your thoughts. Whereas normally, let's say you having a thought you don't want to, you can look away or you can look at your phone. Now, very easy. Talk to somebody, scratch something.
Right.
Whereas in these situations, you're forced to be with that thought. And the difference between a float tank and this other stuff is you can still technically get out of a float tank. You ain't getting out of that other stuff.
Nah, this shit,
you got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? And then some people that they're scared of the dealing with that. And I get it. I get it, man. That shit hurts. It's not a good feeling, but I believe if you're willing to kind of fight through that, you come on the other side like a little bit stronger, a little bit more callous, and then everything kind of opens up a little. That's how I look at it, but that's just my perspective.
Yeah, just going through when you allow yourself to go through, like you said, the cave. What's you saying? The cave you're afraid to enter,
bro. The best quote ever. The treasure you seek.
Right. Miss these, man.
Yeah, I know, right? It's classics. You can't get this anywhere else.
But this quote's so good.
The past you can't get.
It's one of my top 3 quotes.
It is. Yeah.
The treasure you seek is inside the cave you're afraid to enter. And the more I embody that, and it's scary. Sometimes that cave is dark as hell. You hear sounds. You know, you don't know what's in there. It's literally pitch black. You don't know. You're going into the abyss. But the more you're willing to do that, the anticipation of whatever you think is going to happen is far worse than actually processing what the thought, or you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, right? Think about this. It's a thought. It ain't like somebody punching you in the face and you got to feel it. If you're sitting in a float tank and you have thoughts that you can't control, they're not going to beat you up.
Right.
You just got to mentally sit there with it, but it can't physically hurt you. But it feels like it can. It feels like a catastrophe. It feels like the end of the world when you have to deal with something that you don't like. So anyways, the more I did that, I feel like opens up everything. And the magic stuff was one of the big things to get me there.
Chris, we didn't cover you, man. I feel like since we last intervened, I feel like you've had the most change in your day-to-day life. And so tell us about that, brother.
It's funny because in the car, me and Derek were talking about, me and him and I were going back just content creation. And thank you for that, y'all. We were talking about like content creation and like what makes good content, right? And then I was just giving him some game of what I feel like I've learned, and vice versa. We give each other game because I've been making content for 10 years on different platforms, different, audiences, the different community guidelines. I've tried different techniques and different. I've been in the game, and not to mention I followed other content creators, people who are teaching this stuff. I also just remember how I showed you we were watching a video, and the way I look at each video now, because I know you got 3 seconds. And this really clicked with my new content strategy. You got 3 seconds to get them. And attention is the hardest thing to get. Attention is the hardest thing to get, right? And it's valuable. Attention is so valuable. Think about your own attention. If you focused on a book and you sat there and read and but then you would learn something, you know what I'm saying? Focused attention is so valuable. That's why you have 3 seconds to get. I'm not about to waste my attention on you if you ain't getting me in the first 3 seconds. And I feel like I'm learning the nuances of content creation. So I really feel like at this point, it don't really matter where I would have talked about it, because I'm still being the same person that I've been working on as is. I'm just doing it in this vehicle, which happens to be culture. But at the end of the day, I'm learning how to create content. So much so that all the metrics prove that. You know what I'm saying? Literally, I think it's 50 million on just my page. It's been 50 million views on just TikTok. And then I think it was another 5 million or something on IG. And then not to mention all the other stitches or other people taking the video. And I've seen videos where they had 20 million.
Right.
50. And it was just a stitch, but it was a stitch on my face. So what that proves is if you're willing to, if my stitches, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this is how you understand content creation. If the stitches are getting people millions of views that typically didn't, it proves that it's all about the first 3 seconds and sometimes less. So when I knew this for sure when I did the Hey White People, and that video blew up. So I'm like, okay. And we were talking about this in the car because sometimes I'll read a comment, right? And I'm used to it. I've seen some shitty comments, but sometimes it's easy to notice the one negative out of the sea of awesome comments, right? And then it's easy to take that and as a hit at your character. And why has it got to be, hey, white people? What do you? Why has it got to be about race? And people say that kind of shit. And it's like, I have to mentally work on not allowing that. And we talked about this in the car, not allowing that to affect me so much, because that's why I said that in the first place. You knew it was going to be a word, it was going to be a hook that was going, boom, you got attention. What are you going to do with it? And I knew, because it was such a bow, that not everyone's going to rock with it. That's why it's a bow.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be okay that, there's going to be, as long as the people who understand the content, as long as I'm getting more people on that side understanding, because then, to me, in my opinion, the more we create that energy, that big ball of energy, the more we could combat more of that shit. That's the way I'm looking at this whole content strategy, is creating a community of open-minded people who are willing to really truly love someone outside of yourself, that don't just necessarily look like you, genuinely a good safe space for positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm trying to create that. And it feels like it's creating, and I'm doing that because I understand how to do content creation. So when you ask me what's going on, to circle back, I just feel like I'm really starting to understand content creation.
And it's, I feel like maybe a good thing and a bad thing, where it's like you almost do need to engineer it at some point, because there are so many like content creators. Like, I'm sure, there's probably a part of you that wishes you could just, like, I don't know, like, not have to, like,
consider it.
Yeah, like,
To
kind of
just be.
consider it and be like strategic and like, almost like, I think for a lot of content creators too, it's quickly does become like something that you have to kind of constantly do. And it can be, I guess, taxing in its own way there. And then to your point too, I think that it's becoming increasingly more common that the content that does well is more like provocative. And I'm sure that, you probably have plenty of people that don't like get the
underlying tone.
Yeah, or the fact that it really has nothing to do with like, hey, white people type stuff. It's just like, hey, this is something that's more historically known to associate with this group of people. And here I want to, teach you about it, essentially. So it's not like, you're actually like mad at white people for not showing black people golden retrievers or something like that. But it's interesting the way that it has gone as of late. And dude, we're obviously the two of us. I'm sure everyone else that while I wasn't quite there as a day one, I've been there for a little bit of time now. And it's really great to see you, be successful at it and have another good, blip on the charts.
The whole scale. Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
brother.
Of course.
No, it's a great transition to see, man. It's what you work for. Like you said, you've been content creator for 10 years and whatnot. But like, even more than that, you just really involved in it. You're in the comments with it. You're making sure, I don't even know how many posts you have a day. You know what I mean?
It's definitely multiple.
Right. It's definitely multiple across multiple platforms too. You know what I mean? You're definitely in tune with feeding the audience. So when you say, hey, white people, that's just you understanding content.
And context.
Right. Content and context and whatnot. And actually, that's a great way to put it. Content and context.
I mean, let's get down to the nitty gritty of, hey, Mexican people, hey, black people, hey, what is negative about saying that? Not based on what you preconceived notions of what you think might come after that. Literally, the words themselves. Hey, black people, why are those words negative without preconceived notions?
It's the visual connotations to it that you attach. It's all of the preconceived notions.
It's the preconceived notions. That's my point.
Yeah.
But the actual words are not bad. It ain't like I called you the N-word. You know what I'm saying? The words, I'm just calling out the people. Are you not considered Mexican? Are you not considered black? Are you not considered white? Is it bad as far as just the words?
No, and I think that there's like a trend across a lot of things to just like stop putting people in certain camps, and race has been a common one to do it. But I think in general, people just don't like to be associated with any sort of group anymore. Like, being white people is not it's not leading on anything. Basically, it's just a segment of people. But I think you probably get comments that get just off of your first 3 seconds comment, and why does it have to be? Right. They don't, again, they don't even get it. So.
Right. Well, and that's a good point, because you have to be okay when you have 3 seconds. How you gonna get it? That's what it all comes down to. and there's different things. So anybody watching this, there's a little trick you can do, y'all. What you put on the screen, what you can read. You got 3 seconds. You got to hit all 3 things. What do you got in your hand? What are you saying?
Right.
You know, are things moving? Is it just like this? Is it bright? How's the lighting? What's the sound? How's the energy? Big one. I think people sleep on. And listen, you don't have to be crazy energetic like me, but you damn sure got to be in your true energy, whatever it is true to you, right? Like if you are high energy, but you're scared to do it, like you got to be your high true self. So to answer your question, I just really feel like I've truly understood content creation, and yes, it does feel like I have to feed it. But what helps me is I know the end goal, and this is just a vehicle for what I really have always wanted to do, which is create community. Since I was a kid, I've always been that person. So it just so happens that I found a medium online, because I've been doing it for 10 years and studying the shit, that I could turn it into that.
Right.
I know the last time that you were with us, I know we were in, a little bit before that too, but it was seemingly like a new leaf into doing speaking engagements and stuff like that, being a speaker and stuff. And so is that still on the radar? Is that, a side project at this point? What are your thoughts on what you plan to do with that?
So no, I think what's going on now only enhances my speaking career. As far as me going out and searching for speaking gigs, that took a back seat. But now, because I'm establishing actual influence, now the speaking engagements will be much more easy to get. And I'm still communicating. That's what I'm good at. I went to school for communications, and I'm finally. Here's how I know. I got invited on the radio in Wisconsin, the radio,
right?
And I went on and didn't have a blip of like, oh, what do people think? It wasn't even on that. And I think a lot of that has to do with live streaming, because you just get so comfortable with this is who I am, and I'm doing
You're very
live.
Public. I mean, there's
you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Here's another thing: if you're willing to, and social media by definition is like all the highlights. People going, hey, today's my birthday, hey, or this is my cat. Look at it, it's cool, right? It's very rare to see shit where it's like it's not always peaches and cream. And that's what my content was before, is it was being, and we don't talk about it now. It's okay to, like, we all going through some shit. I don't give a fuck who you are. Everyone's going through something.
Right.
It might not be something to you. You might think, and that's fine. And we're not here to, whose problems are worse, whose problems are worse than somebody else's problems. Right? And I know a lot of people won't agree with that. Like, no, that person gets to eat and go, I get it. That person gets to eat and he don't got to worry about his next meal. Whereas this person, I get what you're saying, but the way I think in ways to justify everything that uplifts, right? So I don't choose to look at situations where it can't happen. No, that's not this way. Like, because you're just choosing a route to go. I'm gonna choose a different route, and I like to believe in shit. Like you know, what, Tom, did you hear the dude was like, and I made a post about it. Dude said, the fact I'm even getting passionate about it proves a lot that I got to work on. He said, damn, what did he talk about?
Some dude.
It was a video I made. Oh, he wanted this. He was like, man, there's too many positive reviews. He goes, I need to see more negative reviews. That's what he said. And I'm like, think about that. Let's really think about that at its core. And I get why people. I've made videos with reviews. We did a whole wing review and gave 2s and 3s. We've done that, right? So I understand why it works. People want to see that. It creates a sense of like you trust them, right? Because I know not everything works for me. Like so I understand why the psychology of people want to see negative, but I have a different perspective on that. And I'm saying, well, first of all, why do I have to do that? I don't have to do everything everybody else wants. I can do what I want to do, right? I can choose to do whatever the fuck. I can make whatever content I want to make at the end of the day. So that's the first thing I need to get to. Secondly, no one says shit about diners, drive-ins, and dives, and that's all positive. He just highlighting diners, drive-ins, and dives. That's literally what it is. And it was a phenomenally successful strategy, clearly. And no one, and again, whether you like him or not, his show got really big and he really made a difference. You know what I'm saying? He made a name for himself as far as content creation and the food game. So my point is it's a strategy that does work, especially in a sea of nothing but people rating. And now, and it's how I think, especially because I'm thinking community, right? I'm thinking safe leader of a community. That's the way I look at this. If you give a company a 2, when you were trying to highlight the goal of the video was to highlight this, and then you say, let's give this a shot, and then you give it a 2, and then your influence gets big enough, you literally destroy that business.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Portnoy, who does the pizzas, dude, he gave this one place like a 0. She had to shut the place down for like a year or something. I don't know what the numbers were, but it was like it destroyed the business. And again, Portnoy is way up there, but I still have some influence. And why would you ever bring negative energy to something that provides for people that can, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's just how I think. And especially now that I see, you have real influence. Before, we didn't really have no influence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We do that ring review shit now, we could hurt that business. So, and I'm never going to be cool with that.
No, that's not your goal. That's not your goal.
I'm trying to, it's a whole different
goal.
Trying to bring people together. That's the goal. And to be honest, if you find what we're doing bogus, I don't know if I want you in the community because it's not natural to you. Like, this not my content strategy is not for you. And that's the cool thing about art. It's a subjective. It's abstract. Like, what's good art versus what's bad art?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would you consider good art?
Who knows?
Right?
Who knows?
But there's some people say that's not worth $10,000. Well, to who?
I think to your point about Dave Portnoy, I think I think I understand where this guy's coming from, that it's probably not that he wants to have you shit on a business or negatively impact somebody as much as he just wants a potential different outcome from seeing your story. Because for the vast majority, I assume they're pretty positive. And I think for a lot of the things you talk about, stuff that isn't specific to a certain business or something like that, it's a category of food or this or that or something like that. And if you didn't recommend something, I don't know if there would be the wake of it all. But like you said, it is to bring people together. And I think everyone that watches your stuff knows that it starts off on a positive note to begin with. The whole thing is like, hey, you've been gatekeeping this. Like,
this awesomeness.
Yeah, this awesomeness is hidden. So I think that it makes sense with your brand. But I think to his point too, that there's probably a way to keep a little bit more mystery to things a little bit, opposed to doing that. And again, since it's for a lot of things, if it was like, let's just say tortillas or something like that, you're not going to, it's not against any sort of business. If you're like, oh, this type of tortilla or this type of, Mexican pie or something like that, not as good
of the dish.
Yeah, you could edit it as
it'd be one thing if it
not
was
for
like a
me
specific
type deal.
business in their thing, but like if I'm just talking about this tomato versus that tomato.
And I think I don't think that
model.
he's prying to get you to have some hate or anything like that. It's just to have a little bit of mystery when he sees it as it could go.
If he's looking for mystery, I can see it. I can see that. Most people, in my opinion, think about the psychology of, I want to see more negative reviews. So like you want to live in that space. You like seeing when something doesn't work well. Something about that thing not working.
That's a culture.
It's called, I think it's called chaos theory. Like, y'all, you enjoy that. Personally, the way my brain works, and it's not for everybody. I'm my own guy. This is the way I think. I'm gonna imagine a lot of my audience thinks the same way. I like feeling good. I like laughing. I like things are possible. I like when things are fun. I like when things are just dope. I like when shit's happy. Like, if I could aim for a feeling, I'd rather be in the feeling of a positive, feel good, ecstasy of good hormones, as opposed to like that place sucks. To me, that don't feel good to me. I would if you could suggest everything you suggested to me worked, I would rather have that. Every time De'Eric says some shit's dope, it's dope, and I don't have to worry about I just trust De'Eric. Mm-hmm. If De'Eric says it's dope and this is what he says is cool. I don't want you to be sometimes like, nah, don't fuck with this one.
Yeah.
Just only show me the shit that you think is dope.
I mean, that's the thing about content creation, though. You can literally galvanize your community and focus it towards people who, some people, like, at the end of the day, you doing those videos consistently like that, that's dopamine for somebody who's watching that. Some people need that spark every day to just see something positive. People like that rhythm, so you don't necessarily have to feed into something if that's not your strategy, if that's not you, if that's not what gets you going.
So now I'm about to put y'all on a little game. It is part of the strategy.
Well, yeah.
So let me tell you why, because y'all know, fuck these comments that, especially the ones that don't work for me. Y'all know me. Like, first of all, I've been in the game for a hot minute, and I've been literally working on that principle for, I literally tattooed it on me. If there's one thing I could care less about or cares none about, is a motherfucker not thinking I should do what I think I should be doing. That being said, at least the most I've ever been in my life, to be fair. With that being said, I'm kind of like, I have an audience's attention, and I'm like creating. I know, especially because I understand branding, right? And if you're attaching your name to this energy, this brand, you can almost what do you call it, like malleate, mold. There you go. You can mold the psychology of the community, especially as the one who's creating it. So then you say the things that of the community you want to create, and some people will say, "Oh, I don't know about that one, but I like about this one." Then they'll determine if they want to rock with it or not, right? And I just believe by sometimes throwing in a little bit of a, damn, that's what y'all on kind of energy with this, like, damn, you said this, but you don't understand. Because in my community the people who now respond are like, no, don't worry about that, Chris. I know what's going on. Like, he ain't nothing. That you keep doing what you're doing, and now they're creating more. It's more personable because now they feel like they're really. So that is part of the strategy. Because you're creating this whole essentially story, right? And the best stories are the ones that feel the ones that are like real, authentic. You feel good. It feels real. So you're just trying to tell the story. And what better story than your actual real life, right? We talk about that all the time, right? You especially you're going to start doing more stuff in the physical realm, improving what you're doing out here in order to make more content.
Right.
So just do the shit that you want to do. And guess what's fun to me, D? I like going around and trying new shit. I like going around and wearing cool shit, talking, and having fun, laughing and shit. That feels like a positive energy to me. Unfortunately, the way content creation works, in order to get the attention to do that as a content creator, I have to be okay with the fact that not everyone's gonna rock with it.
Right. You have to create something that's enough for someone to possibly not rock with it.
Yeah. And that's just that's where the hook point is.
Yeah.
Especially a good one. A good hook point is gonna split a lot of people as far as the hooking point, because then you want people to engage in it, right? No, I don't believe in that. Oh, I do believe in that. Now you've got people. So that's what I mean about content creation. I feel like if one day it just clicked, and it was the Zoe video.
Yeah.
That video went crazy. It went 11 million on my page. Right now, it's starting to bump up on IG. It's close to 1 million. Some dude stole the content and put it on his page. He got 11 million. Just the nose three, not to mention all the stitches of people saying, "What you mean you didn't tell me about? We didn't tell y'all about golden retrievers. Didn't you watch, Air Bud?" And you know how many people went viral off of that? So that hook, I'm like, okay, why is it? So then I just studied that content. I just studied why is this one? Because of what makes a video viral? Like, what do you really know?
People love dogs too.
So here's why that video, I've studied the hell out that video. And that's why I think I'm like a professional content creator. Because there's so many reasons why that video worked, in my opinion. One, golden retriever. Boom, right there. First thing you see is golden retriever, like words, right? So now the algorithm knows golden retriever people. As a person now who's been putting golden retrievers in my words and texting them around it, I see so much content around golden retrievers. So I'm in that space so I'm like, okay, just putting the shit on there, having shit in the video will put you in that algorithm. So I'm like, okay, so I got golden retrievers. Then I actually have so you get to see the golden retriever. So you got two things now, your brain, and you're doing all this at one time. You're calculating all these things subconsciously without even realizing it. Another thing, black dude holding a golden retriever. How often do you see that? Like, almost never see that, right? Another thing, hey, white people. That's like for some reason that triggers everybody until boom. Now you got the audio hook, right? And then at the bottom it says, white people have been gatekeeping the golden retrievers, or like dope dogs, something like that. I forgot what it says. In 3 seconds, you got all that. What the fuck is he about to say? Right? That's what's happening. What is he about to say? Well, some people are like, oh, some people are like, oh, and then you're like, oh, he's just showing love to golden retrievers. He's just doing it in his comedic way. And that's what you mean. You almost have to make that kind of energy for people to listen to the content. Because anyone who's truly understanding and you're really communicating with my content, you're not just surface level looking at it. You know what's going on here. You know what's going on. You ain't gotta say shit. because because you can tell by how my art is when I'm editing, because I'm doing all my editing. When I'm editing that shit and you like it, we on the same page. You enjoy my art,
right?
Essentially. And then some people don't, or some people think they do, but it was so provocative to them and now they got to think about it, and I don't like that. Then maybe they see it again, and then maybe they read a comment and they say, "Oh, wait a minute," and then you create a community, bro. I'm not even. I swear to God, when I say this, I think I have the best community. And I know it's easy to say that as the guy creating it, but it's the most diverse community I've seen in all of online.
It's probably true now,
especially with the context in which they are here. It'd be one thing, like, say you follow Kai Cenat, right? And obviously you got tons of different people, but they're not there for inclusionary cultural shit. They're not there for the feel good energy. They're there because Kai Cenat entertains them. They're not there because they want to interact and see new shit, right? If you're a white guy and I'm talking about soul food and you rock with me, you're now gonna at least watch the video a little bit. You might not rock with it, but let me watch the video. And then when I see like this, I'll click on some profiles and see like the type of all over the boat. I love it. It's positive, y'all. So like if you in the community, like it seems like they come to fight for you. And I'm like, it's almost like these little soldiers of just like it's like a force field of positive energy. Oh, bro, I'm addicted. I'm fucking addicted. Now that don't mean that fucked up shit don't happen. And I've learned this lesson back when I did the GVO. Trying to act like shit's always peachy dory. I know it ain't. I know shit happens.
Right.
You lose loved ones, I get it. The way my brain works, if I could find a way to manipulate the bad parts of things, of my reality, if I can find a way to manipulate it somehow where I can find a way, even if it's delusional, to feel better. And don't forget, I'm the kind of person who wants to always live I want to live in good energy. I want to be smiling and shit. I want to have fun. Then I'll take a shitty situation and flip it. And I have done this quite literally on one of the largest scales. And not to sit here and make nobody feel weird, but I thought I was gone. Then when I realized I would not be gone, it felt like a second chance. And I took me having to wake up every morning at 7 as one of the biggest positives from that experience. Because I could never get up at 7 because I worked in restaurants. It's really hard to get up at 7 because I'm reading all these self-help. You got to get up early. I'm thinking, all right, can I at least do 7? Right? But it's really hard to get up at 7 if you work in the industry for so long, especially if it's a late restaurant. And I was like, and I can never do it. I'd still get up at 10, 30, 11, kind of bullshit, not feeling good about myself. Have to take this medicine every day, 7, or else. I said, guess who got up? I could get 6:30 sometimes. I'll be up like a buck now. So that's what I mean about positive energy.
Speaking of positive energy, man, I don't want to put you on, the spot here by any means, but from my understanding, from the last time that we potted to now, there were some bad times, right? And I don't know if you're like a spiritual person or a religious person. I know you're probably a spiritual person, maybe not too religious.
Yeah, definitely spiritual.
How did the timing work out? Like, it seemed, were you kind of down at maybe one of your lower points when this stuff started to pop off? Or
see, that's going to be hard for me because I don't truly understand a lower point. I don't look at life that way. I look at life like what was going on at that time, which was all part of the story. And to me, here's my other favorite quote. And I actually made this up. The bullshit always comes before the good shit, essentially. So I look at like, oh, it's getting a little rough. The level up's about to come, right? Because things work in seasons. So that's why when let's say you ain't making the money, or you can't pay your bills, or this, right? Which is what you're essentially saying when money was tighter. Did I come off with that energy that like my life's in shambles? I would say no one would ever have that kind of. And to be frank, at the end of the day, it was never to that degree where like my life was in jeopardy and I couldn't eat. I couldn't do the necessities. Number one, my support system's way too strong for that. But then number two, in the grand scheme of things, even if shit was as horrible as they could be, if someone offered me $1 trillion to not be here tomorrow, would I accept it? The answer is no.
Yeah.
For me.
I think it's for everybody.
Right? You know, I guess you could say maybe there's some people who go through such extreme like pain, like maybe I don't know, like this pain's unbearable. Okay, I don't. That's a little different than what we're talking about. Like if the pain's just so much, I just don't want to be here, kind of energy. Now, mental pain, because that's a thing too. I was talking about physical, like stabbing, like I can't be here, versus like does something hurt mentally, and I just feel like I'm doing a really good job of really delusional or not justifying everything to work in my favor. Steve called me out the other day. We were having an argument. Well, not the debate. Him and I have debates, and he's like, "Man, you'll justify. You're the justified guy. You justify everything." And I'm like, "You don't." That's the way I'm thinking, right? Like, what do you mean you don't justify? Oh, it's not reality. What is reality? What do you mean? We're on a floating rock out of nowhere. No one knows what's going on. No one knows the meaning of life. No one knows why we're here. You're just here, and so your way is the right way. My way is the right way. At the end of the day, what the hell is going on? And then that's where you come into play, because you're like, it's just humans doing human shit, so we can get outside of the fucking mind, and which is really like a safe. Damn, you see how? Oh shit! And even to myself, damn, you like today. I still get like mini road rage.
You said many or mini?
Mini, like very, very, like almost, and just.
Road rage.
Oh, I hate. I that's the one thing that I'm still working on. Right. I'll be driving, minding my business, with the flow of traffic. Everyone. We all doing good. Got a car in front of me, car behind. Everyone's doing their part. No one's being crazy and ridiculous. Then some asshole will kill us all, damn near. And no turn signal, just bop bop, right? And I'm like, and then I see him driving erratically. That really irks me, especially because I feel like I'm a righteous warrior, whatever you call them. But I feel like I drive extremely considerate. I let motherfuckers go when people are trying to get in. I was like, come on, man, I got you. Come on. I'm never like, nope. Some people play that. I used to play that. Like, no, fuck you. You ain't going. You didn't get in the back like everyone else did. You get that. That's what I used to live in that shit. To me, it's usually, man, go ahead, you good. What's the 2 seconds to me? What's the 2 seconds to you? And that's how I look at like, well, what's 2 seconds? And again, are the odds of this? No. But how do you know that person's mom is in serious trouble?
I share this with you, man. I feel like never. I feel like that's probably something I'll never be able to like get over. And like, I let people in too, I feel like, but it's the fuckers that like will ride the shoulder and shit.
Yeah.
That like, and it's like some beat up car. And I don't want to say like that these guys don't have problems, but it's like, and we've had clients here that like will hit us up being late for their session. Like, I'm in the shoulder. I'm like, first of all, I hate you for being that person. Second of all, don't care. Third, don't do that. Like,
right.
All this sort of stuff. But no, I share that. You can hold on to that, Chris. You both are actually very, very positive people. I think out of the norm of most people.
Yeah, for sure. That's why you and I get along so well.
Yeah, I mean, shit ain't too serious.
I mean, it's true, and not everyone is like that. So I think you can keep on to your road rage thing, man. People that are too.
You say you need a little something to get out.
Yeah.
No, but let's get real. Okay, I know we having fun with that statement, but let's get real. The way I keep it. Every now and again, not like it used to be. It's gotten so bad where I like went and cut. This is years ago. Went and cut that person back off. He cut me back off. I'm like, pull over then. That's what we on. He pulled over. I'm like, well, I called him out now. So we both pull on the side of the expressway. Think about this. Really happened. So we get out, and I'm on some like I'm about to whip his ass. He got out on some. I'm about to whip his ass. We were both big as hell. So I'm like, okay, this about to be a fight. Wait, I swear to God, so we both like, wait, when you did this, and then all of a sudden we was like, man, what? I'm like, why you do that? He said, man, I didn't try to do that, man. It was an accident. And then we hugged it out, swear to God. but my point is, what if the situation was a lot different?
Oh no, dude. So not to cut you off, but I never play around with that sort of stuff because especially in Chicago, like you don't know type shit. And like I'm never trying to pick fights. No. Like I'll be pissed that the guy's on the shoulder, but like no way am I trying to pull over and like stop him from doing that because I had this instance not that long ago where like this guy was just like, blew through a stop sign, was like riding behind me. There was a light and it hit yellow. And I was like, I know he's going to try to be the guy that like pretty much just goes through on red. And so I don't want to say I brake check him, but I somewhat brake check him going through the light because it's like, bro, you can chill on the light. Like, I don't want you behind me because you're like on my ass and my bumper anyway. But I brake check him. Of course, he goes through, and then he goes into like oncoming traffic to swerve in front of me.
Oh, it was bad.
Brake checks, stops the car just in the middle of the street, and I'm like,
oh wow,
I'm like, a joking thing. Like I'm with Allie, and it's like one of those moments where it's just like, fuck around and find out type thing. Cause I'm like, dude, I'd brake check the guy. Like, come on, can we be adults about this? And like this, but he got out, he like opened the car door, and I'm just like, it's a moment of like, man, if he comes up to the car, like, or like starts walking towards me, like, am I gonna run his ass over? Like, I'm not gonna wait for him to get to my car. Like, what am I doing? Like, and I found myself in this situation. It's like, yeah, it's definitely not worth your time. So everybody, do not not get into the road rage incident,
people, man.
But people are like that, and they like honk. Allie will do that all the time. She's flicked people off, and I'm like, bro, you are not cool enough to be doing that, and like you're not about it. So like, don't play around, because the guys that are hitting the shoulder and doing shit like that,
there's a movie
they'll do
called Unhinged, I think. You know about that movie?
That one's some unhinged shit
with not Russell Crowe, maybe on one of them. I think it was Russell Crowe, where that happened. Dudes, I guess he was slightly unhinged.
You see videos like that.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of that. Road rage.
Smash your glass, and then like, yeah, you're gonna look
gave
like
him the bird. Is cool. Dude came up, cool. He's like, why you gotta do that? Right? He came cool, and I get it.
Why would you ever come up to anybody's cars beyond me in the United States of America?
So she went crazy. He pulled up, like, I guess at the next line, so it was like kind of natural. He said, well, why you gotta be like that?
Yeah.
And then she said, she like doubled down. He lost his mind. He lost his mind. And he went and followed her. It was crazy. Obviously it's a movie, but people are like that.
I know it happens every day in the United States. You see videos of it all the time. People with a little road rage, or they'll come out the car and somebody will pull out the little pistol.
Yeah, dude. When you bike too, and people fuck around with like bikes too. But sometimes bike people are like acting like they're on some sort of tank, and it's like, no, you're you're riding like a tin can, basically.
Fuck out of here with that.
Wait. Me and De'Aaron.
Fuck out of here with that statement.
Hold on.
No, listen. Let's just be real. I'm not saying that like you aren't.
Fuck out of here with that, Dave.
Rights, but like, okay, somebody cuts you off, right? You go up, hit their hit their mirror and stuff. That's common in the motorcycle community. To like, fuck up their mirror type shit like that.
Okay.
You're on a fucking mirror? Bike. People are crazy. Like, people have nothing to lose, and people are the R word. So it's but I've seen cyclists that like, listen, people don't pay attention. You like almost hit somebody and stuff like that. And then you get the old like, hey, fuck you type shit. Or like people will like spit on a car.
For sure.
Or,
now,
like,
cyclists are outrageous.
Throw some shit. Cyclists, and again, it's nothing against cyclists, but I'm just saying it's like,
no,
you're in a different circumstance. If somebody's in a car, like they're in somewhat of a protective bubble to some degree.
The most protective bubble in the street. But that's why they go raging, because it's like, okay, you see me, I don't have any protection, and you being a fucking rhinoceros right now next to me.
Oh,
you being a rhinoceros. I'm speaking from the biker's perspective. Okay. And you bike with me recently. You see, we got our own lane. We got a lot of space, but still, motherfuckers be in our way.
Especially in your specific designated space.
In my designated space.
Okay.
Although I run the fucking road.
Hey, hold on.
But
he's being 100% genuine right now. So I went bike riding with him the other day, and it was awesome. I want to keep doing that. It's very fun. But he's an experienced city bike rider. Like, he'd be, I was like trying to keep up. I'm like,
that's why I gave you the e-bike.
Oh man, I'm trying to keep.
Colton's been riding to work. That's probably why he's tuning into this conversation.
Right.
He's been doing it, and it's dangerous. It's
a lifestyle.
I'm like, D. So y'all just ain't got no rules? Like, we do whatever the fuck we want?
Well, he was baffled by the fact that I just run lights and shit.
Red lights.
Yeah.
Cutting people off.
Swear.
We could no one saying nothing.
First of all, I'm very aware of my surroundings, though. I'm not just cutting people off.
Enough.
I'm not just. I pretty much.
You cut a few people off. I cut some people off.
You cut who you?
I feel like we got in front.
No, we were swerving. When you were in a bike, you are the coolest person on the street. You swerving through them. It's like being in a video game.
This
man.
is real bike energy.
That's why it was fun, because it was like a video game. I'm like, oh, it's just your real life's on the line,
It's your real life's on the line.
It's a video game, but your real life's on the line.
But see, that's
super
the thing.
fun.
But see, that's speaking of the rage, though. That's why a lot of bikers they do get a lot of rage. That's why they get so in fucking rage, because a lot of them do follow the rules. I'm a little savage about mine, but a lot of them do follow the rules, and motherfuckers will open up a door, not looking, that this is my whole lane.
Oh yeah.
And or somebody.
So you definitely got to be aware.
There's a lot of times where cars don't see me, and I'm doing the exact right thing, and they'll literally I'm riding my lane like on Dearborn Street. There's a green pathway. Yeah. Well, I'll be riding that, too. And there'll be somebody turning left, not giving a fuck, even though my sign is right, or for me to go. And I'm like, and then they're almost about to hit me. I'm, oh, what the fuck? And they're like, sorry, or whatever. But I got to be careful with that.
But you have the right of way in that situation.
No, I will have the right of way. Bro, on a bike, I have to be careful. I don't have a 2-pound vehicle to protect me.
For sure.
So I'm sitting up on my bike, making sure that I'm being seen. I'm not just out here lollygagging on my bike, trying to be evil Knievel. Like, I know what I'm doing.
That's a good point.
So when you don't see me, or you don't see, most of the time, if you're about to hit me, you didn't see me. Because I'm not risking my life on the fucking line out here. Just like it's
definitely a more dangerous game.
It's a more dangerous game when you playing next to a rhinoceros and you a fucking gazelle.
That's what I'm saying. It's just again, I liked it. I want to do it again.
Yeah, but, that's why it makes me feel like I'm in the jungle though. It keeps what it does. It keeps your eyes on a swivel really decent, like you looking at shit at all times without even really knowing. So it really puts that natural just animal feel in you. Like, man, I'm really close to this shit.
I think from a non-experienced rider, like most people, when you ride a bike, you're not riding in the city like that. Like on the streets and throughout traffic and people moving his bodies, and then you got to cut.
I like that. Close.
So it's like you have to be present too. So it's like a mindfulness game too.
Yeah, it is.
You probably get that with the motorcycle, right?
Yeah, no, I was about to say. I feel like I share that same thing with you, where it's just like you do have to keep your head on a swivel because people don't give a shit. One, and since you're not on, in like a vehicle, it's like if you do get hit, like shit's gonna go bad. But I think the more of what I was trying to get at is just more so it's like, you got to know, you got to be willing to like fuck around and find out. Like I said, the guy that I brake checked, he was in a car, and then it's like I found out that like, oh, he can just block the road, and like unless I want to go into oncoming traffic, like I'm gonna have to deal with this guy, like son of a bitch.
So
bikes are the same thing. It's like you hit somebody's like shit. I just find I haven't had any bad experiences. People. Like you yelling at people makes sense because it is like fucking look, like you could kill me out here type shit. But sometimes I've seen tons of videos with motorcyclists and bicycle people that'll like. Something like that'll happen. People could, hey, my bad, I fucked up, and like they'll like, throw some shit at them or something like that, or like throw a rock at their car, and it's like, bro, this guy could just start in his car and follow you, and this could go south real fast.
That is true. That is true. I feel bad for yours because I mean that's a different situation. If something goes wrong with that, you're flying.
I'm cruising. Yeah, no, I don't.
That's one. I
don't take it on like the highway and stuff like that. I try to keep it pretty safe. But yeah, I mean it's Hey,
do you ever push it?
What do you mean? Do I ever push?
This is performed by a professional. You ever push the motorcycle? Like
I don't have a motorcycle just to. Of course. Every ride I rip it a little bit. Like within reason. I go up north, and so there's like some more back roads and stuff.
But you'll hit it.
Yeah, I mean the motorcycle is literally like that's the whole point. And so I definitely am respectful and responsible in these residential communities and stuff like that. But like, I mean, at least once, twice a ride, I'm trying to give it a good rip, because like that's the whole
Are you doing
point.
wheelies?
No, I don't do wheelies. Because see, that's the shit where it's
you're a rough rider.
That's where it's just like kind of wild. Wheelies, it's hard enough being on two wheels.
I'm not doing fucking wheelies on my bike, boy. Let alone a motorcycle.
See, I be doing wheelies in my car.
I bet you do. Put that motherfucker.
I got that torque. No, so just to circle back, I know we coming to end here. It's been awesome, man. I've been getting a lot of opportunities.
Good, man.
I've had.
Can we see the shoes?
Oh, this is
aren't these sponsored? Oh, you bought? Okay,
no.
Oh, shit, I thought you got.
First of all, no, but hold on.
I thought you got some shoes. Yeah. Hey.
These are fresh.
I thought you've been getting some. I saw some screenshot of Yeti was going to send you some stuff.
So here's what happened.
They didn't. Huh?
No, they did. It's still coming. It ain't got here yet. I made a video for the hell of it because I just thought it was a cool brand that I've heard nothing but good things about, and the white people that I talk to that love him, like Steve loves Hey Dudes. He's the whitest guy I know. You know what I'm saying? So I just knew that. I'm like, oh, I know. And then everything I've heard about is white dudes. Anyway, so I made the video and it went viral. People were like, oh, it's cool shoes. Then the company saw the video and was like, hey, can we send you some? Then they sent me some. And I was like, oh, that's dope. But they were like, they didn't ask for nothing. They just said, hey, thank you for doing that. Let me send you something. So then I took it as an opportunity. Well, of course, I'm going to show love. They sent me. Why would I not make the content? I'm a content creator. So I made the content. And then that hit. And then they were like, you need to do the sock trick. And there was a sock. I'm like, sock trick? What's that? So then I went and did the research, and you put the socks around the seals, the sole, because you wear these without socks, and they don't get funky if you just, you know how you wear shoes with no socks, but there's a sock, so you're good. So and there's like a whole, it's like a cult. I didn't realize there's a cult following for Hey Dudes, right? And the video hit, and then I went yesterday. I'm like, oh shit, there's a location kind of close to here, like an actual physical. Most times you got to go to Journey and all these other places. There's an actual physical store. Made that video like 22 hours ago, and it's already like at 300,000 on just. I'm like, okay, this is a thing, and not to mention, I think they're cool shoes, right? And it's like a little underground, little. It's almost like if you own a Corvette, or if you drive a Jeep Wrangler, or if you drive a Harley. It's like kind of like culty. I don't know. It's like a little community. So now I'm getting people who are about Hey Dudes in the community.
Yeah.
So it's not even just about food. It's like all inclusive everything. If the shit's dope, let's get you in here.
Right.
A big pot of everything's dope. And that might not, and even if it's not your thing, right? Maybe it's not your thing, but you're probably the person who's more willing to say, oh, okay, then it's not my thing. And then you go on.
Right.
That's the kind of people we have in this community. But if you're like, oh, I could not. Like, come on, bro. We don't do that over here. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get you.
Because like if you were trying something, you wouldn't just shit, especially you. You ain't shitting on nobody.
No, that ain't my energy. I'm chilling. Like,
Yeah. Like even if someone offered you, like for instance, people on Fiverr that weren't always necessarily the greatest, you not even in when you're critiquing them, you ain't going all in, right?
No, not at all.
You just say, no, it wasn't for me. He's out here, yada yada yada, and it is what it is.
I'm always trying to give him something positive. Trying to give him a little positive.
Right. I ain't never heard you. Yeah. So when you say that, I'm trying to think of who I know who always brings a positive energy. I'm like, it might be Derek. Because I still have my moments more so. At least you don't do a good job of showing them. But as far as just vibes, like just pure, like I'm on Paradise, kicking it, me and my boys. This a good vibe. Who's better than Derek?
I don't know if there's one. I don't know if there is one, man. I want to just real quick. I'm sure you already putting this together, but I know that as a content creator, monetizing it outside of just the ad revenue of stuff is super important. And for a situation like that, man, if you're doing a lot of plays for these guys, in addition to them potentially just giving you some money, I guarantee you these guys probably have an affiliate program, and like that's the sort of shit that you should absolutely be doing because.
See, I'm a little different. I have a different perspective on that.
Why?
I'm choosing it from this perspective. Because I look at, and it's gonna feel real spiritual and very.
Hey, you do you.
I look at it from a matter of energy, right? I want people. For instance, okay, I had an editor once. He was like, "Hey, I've never seen him before." He goes, "Hey, can I edit some videos for you?" I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'm not in market for that." Da, 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 da. Another guy, he just edited the video. He literally took it, edited it, and was like, "Here," and I was like, "Damn, that shit is way better than mine." He proved his value off top. I'm kind of leaning more towards that perspective. And just to be fair, there has been some things outside of the app that there were some contracts, negotiations type things. So the things like big numbers. I turned down a $5,000 offer. I tried to ask for more because it was worth more. They wanted like 12 pieces of content, and they wanted that number. And I'm like, based on what's going on, and I went and did my research. I went and find out what content creators.
I saw your post about it.
So I'm like, I'm not gonna know. And then I went up, and then it ended. But my point is, so I am trying to do that and more things, but I also want to do it in a way where it don't feel like I'm just doing it to do it. Now you might be like, well, what's wrong with just putting a link, right? What's wrong with just doing that? I want to be more collaborated with the big dog. So like, I want it to be like, oh no, I believe based on my community, based on the way I can push their brand way bigger. And maybe I'm delusional, but that's how I think. So I'm thinking, make myself so valuable to their brand where they have no choice but to want to work with me.
Yeah, no, and I get that.
It's a different way of approaching. The other way is smart because I've done affiliate links before.
You've done free stuff for them. I feel like you're at that point. If you've already done a couple of videos for them,
I think you're right now.
Like, I think especially with doing the affiliate thing opposed to like just a straight money for X amount of videos or something like that. That feels transactional. It feels like kind of forced. If you're like, hey, I like this shit.
I agree.
They give you a code that to them, it's like most brands typically discount their shit to begin with. And most brands, especially like in this sort of category, have affiliate deals to begin with. And it's a simple way for you to at least be able to track your actual like difference with them that I think in the long run would be a stronger negotiation tool. Because if you're able to tell them, hey, you know, like here, Chris cares none at checkout type shit. And they're like,
It
hey,
does
on
give you
our
the
end,
numbers
we
to
see
fight
a
that.
bunch of people that are checking out with the Chris cares none thing. Like that way they're able to like actually see, and it's to know, you know, it's kind of like a win-win-win. They're making the sale. Clients that want to buy it, great. They want to put in your code, great. Then at least it's like trackable. You could have sent a bunch of business to these guys that they don't
No, it's
correlate with you, because there's probably tons of people that talk about this sort of stuff.
I'm okay with that. And again, I'm not saying that way's wrong, because that's probably the blueprint of what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from like a different perspective of, man, I even when I made a video with those birria bombs, right? I don't know if y'all saw that, but I made a video with birria bombs, and they are on the TikTok shop. And I know I'm getting views, but I purposely made the video without the link, because when I was watching all these videos, because one, I went and bought them because I'm like, oh, these look dope. I've been eating birria on my videos. People know me as this guy who's been doing birria lately. I got a video that just went viral of me eating birria like 2 or 3 times. So I'm like, okay, people obviously look at me as a guy who's in birria. So I saw these bombs. I'm like, okay, TikTok shop, get a link, probably make some money on it, right? That's what I was thinking. But then I read the comments, and the comments were like, I would love to see this review without the link.
Yeah.
And I read that multiple times. And I understand that, especially for that's why a lot of people are kind of weird about the TikTok shop. When they see it, they automatically scroll.
I think that makes sense.
So that has that energy. So I was like, you know what? Why don't I do this? Why don't I and make that part of the content? Like, I'm not putting the link. I'm not making nothing off of this. I'm just letting you know how I get down with it. Y'all can go. And I literally was like, go anywhere you want to buy it. I'm just showing you that it's dope. In my heart, that feels more real. It feels more real because I'm just making the content, not because I can potentially get some dough off of you. I'm making the content because I think it's dope and I want to try it. And to me, that will create something more in the long run. Not to mention the app. If the shit hits, I'm going to get paid off the app regardless, right? Not to mention another person who just saw that video. Oh, there's no link. He says it's dope. Let me go try it. They do it. He also went to 2 other restaurants I suggested. He likes me. When I do come out with something, no, I rock with him. So I'm kind of playing, the way I'm looking at it is more of the long game. And to me, especially since I can eat right now, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm fine right now. Nothing's wrong. As a matter of fact, I feel like the best I've ever been. I don't have to, I don't want to say sell out, because it's not necessarily selling out, but I don't have to attach the monetization on the videos so much. That's kind of my angle.
It looks like more of a strategy. Like I like the number side of what you mentioned, Tom, as far as being able to track with Hey Dude.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that because you go with numbers.
Because you would be part of their algorithm automatically, being in their system with the affiliate links. So they're going to be having those, and they have, you know, so. But
there's benefits for sure. Like one,
and the thing is, Hey Daddy isn't going to be the only one. And a lot of these companies know that they're going to be people like you creating content, which is why they have affiliate links so that you can get your percentage off of things. And I think that all strategies can be.
If anything, I'll be more selective, D. I'm not going to just do the first thing. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not saying you. I'm just the way I'm going to go about it. I'm going to find ways to monetize the thing that feels right to me. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason, just I feel like I can get more of the true fan when I'm not monetizing it every single time.
It's a strategy that I've seen on YouTube before. It's like, again, I'm not getting any sponsorship from this.
Alex Hormozy, that was his whole thing. I'm not trying to sell you shit. Just hear me out. And then it worked though. He didn't really sell you nothing. And then when he finally came out with the thing he's trying to sell now, I don't know if he's making numbers, but I've seen it a lot. The school shit. But I'll be honest, I watched a lot of his content, and the very first thing he says is, I ain't got shit to sell you. And he's just spitting game, and then that's it. And there was no link. There was no, from the ones I've seen.
That's a strategy.
And I'm like, okay, I like that. You kind of build it first, and then they come kind of thing. So that's kind of energy. And then I remember how I felt when dude literally just created. Now I know this kind of work with yours too, but dude created the art for me. He was like, boom, here it is. Wow. So maybe I can't do it with the specific numbers to your brand, right? Or like, because I don't got a link, but you can see, damn, this video had this many 100,000 views. You read the comments, you can get the number of that. How many comments in the comments said, I'm going to get these now because of you? How many comments say, are these shoes cool? You can still find a way to do it without having a specific, okay, 16 people clicked this link and you made 13 points. You can still get it just. And then not to mention, just if I become the face of it, people are like, no, that's the Hey Dude. Not to mention, it makes sense with my tagline. Quite literally, both start with hey. So I'm thinking it made too much sense. I like them. I think they're dope. They're comfortable. So I don't know. I was like, and it might not work. And then what's the matter? Okay, you made some content, you got your community's dope, and you got some dope shoes, and then that's it. And then what bad happened? Especially like I ain't got my next meal's not. I'm not scared of my next meal. My car is good. I'm healthiest in my life, so it's not worth the, let's say, potential 10 whatever percentage I might have got by putting a link on there at this moment.
I hear you.
Eventually, there's a moment where I got some links, y'all. You come on, but until that happens,
I get the not wanting to sell like your audience, and I feel like I'm sure that feels like you're, I think there's the
fostering
assumption that
community.
people, yeah, well, that you're like now badgering people, or like it dilutes it somehow. And I don't have a community of that size, but one, I know you're a big reader and stuff like that, and I know you read a bunch of self-help books and stuff like that. I would encourage you to venture a little bit into the sales side of stuff, because I think that there is a connotation that selling is like bad for people. But like, listen to Derek. I've witnessed him start like a shit ton of businesses, and it's like at some point that is literally life, to like sell people. I'm not obviously forcing you to do this. What I was referring to with this company, it's something you like. Do you think that people should buy it? Like, is it a good buy?
I do.
Okay, it's a good thing to buy. You already have rapport with them. It's a great thing. And then I think if you're not getting paid to sell, like if I was NordVPN, like, hey, can we do a sponsored video? We'll pay this much. And you being like, hey, here's a VPN. It's super great. It's like, but if you don't believe in that type thing, that's not good. But like, this seems like a good brand deal that like is a win-win. And again, you could do
It does
content.
make sense.
And if people tune all the way to the end, hey, put Chris Caresnan at the checkout. You'll get a little bit of a discount. I get a little bit of a hookup
People love
if you
a good
want
discount.
type shit. And it's like people that want to support you will support you. And then I guess my last bit of advice too is like, you've been doing this for a long enough time, and not that you are getting late in it by any means, but I think you've put in your time enough to start monetizing it in some way. And again, I don't think that like the second you do it, people are going to be like, oh shit, I can't follow this guy anymore. He's doing sponsored posts. Like, it's literally just,
it's like you gotta survive. You gotta survive.
You're a content creator, bro. You gotta come to terms with that too.
Yeah, well, I'm still creating the content.
No, what I'm saying is there's different things that are set up already for content creators to do these type of things. Like, you're an influencer. That's literally, affiliate programs are for influencers who are content creators.
That's fair.
And you're not hoeing yourself out. Like, again, you're not like hoeing yourself out. There are definitely people that like,
I'm not
probably every post is like,
it would have to make sense for sure.
Shit. And so you're not going to be that guy.
My point is maybe I'm looking at it different, because I agree with that, but it's like almost, it may be the psychology I'm having, and I know we gotta get off here. The psychology pain point I might be having with this is it wrong to do it? Not wrong, excuse me. Can you make the influence even more, kind of thing? Like, I'm like, it's like, no, you already got the influence. Like, well, no, I can. And how I got to be this influenceable is by this mindset that I have. My mindset that I'm like, the person who says I don't want to put the link up, that's who I am. And I believe it's that energy that kind of gets you like almost like the bigger fish, so to speak, as opposed to, let me throw out a couple of boom booms. Okay, I get you for this weekend. Like, no, man, like let's catch the big dog. And I don't even know how that is, but for something's telling me to just be true to what you rock with. Just be true, and you don't got to worry about, because everything's gonna be okay regardless. You don't got to worry about monetizing every single aspect of this. Just trust that the universe is going to take care of you, bro, just like it has been taking care of you.
Why are you scared of monetizing it though?
Yeah, okay.
It's not scared of it. It's just the person who doesn't want to monetize every single part of it is the same person who is able to monetize every single part of it.
Every single part of it is crazy, because we're talking about one brand. Well, exactly. But I'm saying, like, dude, this is one thing. Just
so
in
maybe
this
one
case,
maybe.
like you have. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting more passionate about it than I should be. I respect you staying true to your thing, and I think that there is, like, the second you were selling anything, there is a little bit of like, not like,
especially coming from you, Mr. Courses.
Okay, but listen to that point too. Like, so with my YouTube channel, that is considerably smaller than your pages and stuff like that. I have a brand that pays me a decent amount of money per video. It is something that I believe in, and I don't have a problem putting it in my videos because I genuinely believe that it helps people. I use it. I'm like an active user for it. And the company was nice enough to be like, hey, we'd like to support you doing what you do, doing this information for people.
Oh, so they reached out to you though?
They reached out to me.
Okay, so they haven't reached out to me.
They gave you some stuff.
So we have a relationship, but did they reach out?
Why would they pay you if they don't have to, type thing?
I know. So to me, that's it. To me, it was a show of appreciation. Obviously, I didn't have to do that, but then I also know that there's probably they realize that I'm a content. We just talked about this. I'm a content creator. I'll probably make content off of it, showcasing it. They see how I feel about them. I put them on. It's transactional. I understand it's like what's going on, but I think what makes it real. And it's not about scared because like I put my own brand out there all day.
But you have had a resistance towards the finances always.
What you mean?
Towards the finances,
you've hesitated to monetize.
Oh yeah.
The show the whole way.
And I think the reason why is because I want to make sure that it stays is because I know how people feel about being sold to, whether or not it's right or wrong. If you know,
we're always being even the story that you're conveying to them, you're selling them.
I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm saying, but when people feel like they are being sold, it does
percentage of people.
It does put a little something up, especially if you're not doing it well.
Mm-hmm.
So. Whereas if I'm not trying to sell you shit, I just know that that's a power. It's not a power. It's a strategic play. It could work. It could work. It seems to be working. And when you do make that, like it's almost like I'll give up a couple of these until now it would make more sense now because of But
I guess all I want is I just don't want you kicking this too far down the road.
Yeah,
I see what you're talking about,
fair.
and I think that you're at that point where you should probably cave a little bit. You've been doing this long enough time.
I think that's fair.
And there's nothing wrong with making money.
Yeah, when Yeti's getting you up, man, they're telling you like let's make money. Even if
but making money to me is not as important as creating the community.
But I think that's also part of creating the community. For example, I really like this affiliate topic actually because I feel like that's helping you to create the community better. That's giving them a discount through you. So still,
but you have to think about the psychology of some people looking at some people be like, oh, wait a minute.
But those some people aren't for you then. If they aren't understanding that you got to grow as a content creator and you doing these companies are throwing these things at you and they have things set in place for content creators. Now, of course, there's a strategy that you can deny and you can say, I'm not getting sponsored. They tried to offer me something, but I'm not going to do it. And there's a way to galvanize that community too. But if you take the affiliate route, you're also allowing them to, you say, hey, dudes, these are cool, but also go ahead and get you a bit. And it's only 15% discount because you've been the person to create your community enough to be able to galvanize a relationship with Hey Dude and
I
Yeti.
agree with that.
You know what I mean? So
but I'm telling you, there's some people in our community that are on the fence.
For sure, but that's
because that's the whole community, right? Wait, what do you mean? Oh, let me see. Okay, I think I like this guy. So then I'm just really protective of that relationship between me. Because think about this from this perspective. Every time I talk to you, I was trying to sell you something.
It's not
just as a person.
I think the real reason is because you like it right now. This is something that you actually like. Like again, if a NordVPN or some company reached out to you and they're like, "Hey, will you sponsor this
software?
We'll give you money." Yeah, software.
I would do it if it made sense.
It won't.
But see, that doesn't make sense.
If it would make sense, we're just saying if it would make sense with your brand.
Because I was in talks to do that. I was in talks.
Was it a company that you fucked with?
Yeah, big as it was. No, I mean, like not.
No, see, it was just a money play. That is understandable that you would like to pass on that, and I think that will come off as disingenuous and not react well with people. But you like this product again. You're not forcing. You're not like, hey, go buy this. You're like, I like these things. If you like them, here are some cool things I like about them. You can just type this code in. Like you said, you get a discount.
They are fresh.
Yeah, that's the best
people
thing
get
about
a discount. It's
people love a good discount.
If I get
my guy is giving me the discount too.
The company is happy to do it. They already have these programs in place, and it's a way that you can just,
And also to piggyback on it just a little bit. This was kind of just for example what we were talking about with the finances. A company like Yeti, they have. You remember you were kind of hesitant about Yeti because they had all the rules set in place and whatnot. And you're like, hey, I'm kind of having my way about doing it. But they already have it. They know when people create content that there's a strategy behind it already where people are going to get discounted. Whoever sees the video, when you link it, they understand you're going to have your community get your money off of it. But they understand that content creators are here, and they just have a strategy already in play. So that's what I'm saying, like leaning into the money side of that and like understanding that you as a content creator now, you are able to work with these companies that are actually coming towards you in a formal, fashionable way that's taxable.
I guess you know what I'm thinking. If I'm being honest, and we'll end it on this. If I'm being honest, I'm just thinking much larger than an affiliate link. If I'm being honest, I'm like, nah, because you don't look at Will Smith.
What deal would be it?
I don't know. I'm letting life play out, and I'm going because life's been awesome, and I'm just continue to live life that way, and I'm not going to overthink about some shit that kind of goes against for some reason, right or wrong. Like I kind of treasure the relationship And I look at if I was selling you every time I spoke to you, I don't think you would like it.
I think we need to look at that book that he was talking about.
I'll look at it, but
Well, I
I'm
don't
just
know
being
about
honest.
that.
In this situation, every time I saw you, I was like, D, man, you need to buy a shirt. And you're like,
That's
okay,
not
hold on, hear me out.
I'm bad.
And then the next day, I'm like, D, you want to buy a shirt? And then every time I saw you, literally every time I say, D, man, you got to check out my site, buy a shirt. Eventually, it would just get annoying. And me and my buddy Steve talk about, I don't want to call this other creator out, but there's a creator that you can tell he's just putting links out there. Yop. It don't even make sense to what he's doing, but he's like, I'm put the link and make a couple bucks. And it just feels gross to me. I'm like, dude,
I get that.
You're doing that for the $500 you're gonna make on that. I'm like, no, make an impact. So that make an impact. And I think it's that energy is what's galvanizing the community. I'm not saying when the time is right, you make your plays, and I get that. I have a brand. They can go on right now, caresnone.com, go check out, get you a shirt. But I kind of trust like build it and they will come kind of thing. That's kind of the energy that that's it. It's not a quote.
I feel like they're coming
how
right
did they
now.
come?
Are
Yeah,
they not
holy fuck!
coming right
How
now?
did they come? Like,
No,
how do
business-
people actually
I feel like the
support you?
businesses are coming.
What deal do you want? Like, what is the
I think like in a perfect world, I don't know, like maybe be like I don't know. I guess maybe be the face of the play. I was saying, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make myself the unofficial official person of this brand that I respect, and then they're gonna realize when I'm like, maybe I'm not making content about it no more, and maybe they visibly see it, then they say, oh no, we need him because I built it. Because every time I make because now their numbers can tell. They can tell what a video is doing.
So
Go
like
back
a
and say
a single brand. Let's just use
no,
Yeti
why not
as
be
an
all brands
example.
like Shaquille O'Neal? Why not? We talking about that in the car.
But see, that's
Well, what do you mean Shaquille O'Neal would take the money, bro?
yeah, that's
No,
what
I ain't talking about take the money. You talking about putting an affiliate link on a video?
Do you think
But that's
I'm telling you,
Shaquille
Shaq,
is
O'Neal right
Shaquille
now.
O'Neal? Does he
Ain't
do
no
the
links on
army?
none of
Does
those
he do the
videos.
general insurance or whatever
Right,
like
but
that? You think
he has ownership within the.
Sure, but do you think he really gives a fuck about insurance?
No.
I mean, Shaquille O'Neal's just selling his people, and he's Shaquille O'Neal, so he's like, do it. But like, so I guess I'm just confused on like the
his
long
community
term
ain't
thing.
what my community is.
I understand,
My
but like,
community is about including different cultures and is a positive space.
but it sounds
more
like
than
you
me
want to
making
just
money.
get one big deal. Where
No.
which
I would do different
understand.
brands for sure. My point is that I'm not gonna just get a link and throw a link. I just feel like I don't know. The universe telling me it's just a bigger play than a couple of links.
I feel like you saying a couple links is downsizing the links that like they're sending energy towards you, and they just so happen to be in a place where you know how it is when you have
I'm
a
telling you
corporation.
how I felt, D, when I saw this creator posting links.
That wouldn't be you though. You would.
As I'm saying, so and what's making me is I'm not gonna just throw a link.
No,
What
but
makes me is I'm telling my natural desire right now is to not throw a link.
fair enough.
Right?
Fair enough.
Which
But
is
the
not being-
natural,
so if I did throw a link, would that be me being me?
the energy that's being thrown towards you is the link from Yeti and Hey Dude.
So that's
the link that's-
I'm proving the worth, I'm proving the value, and then I'm gonna hit it up. That's what we're gonna do. Anyways, we get out of here. Where can they find you, D?
You can find me at the Stretch Lab in Old Town.
Hell yeah.
Get yourself stretched out. I'm also going to be starting a travel stretch session and massage therapy offerings as well too. But the Stretch Lab in Old Town, just look me up, stretchlab.com. You can find me there. I have openings Wednesday through Saturday, and I want to feel your body because I am Body Beats. Yes, people need to be touched. They do. Honestly, I get people all the time that say, I have never been stretched like this. I've never been massaged like this. Where else do you have time open for me? I'm telling you, I'm
no, this
into
is true. I just the slogan was getting me for
yeah, of course.
Hey,
it's gonna get
I've
me.
been told that a few times too.
Hey, we need to be touched.
Like, I ain't never been touched like that.
Yeah, so I'm learning ancient ways to touch you. I'm learning a lot of Thai massage and whatnot as well. So really, I'm like, look, my stuff is coming full circle just as much as yours. I could name myself. I had a moniker called Body Beats back when I was making music in 2019. And that's come full circle for me to now present that as a person that wants to help your body. Body Beats.
Always comes back, doesn't it?
Yeah, Stretch Lab. You can also pretty cool maps too. I had a little strategic changing with that where I had to change my manufacturing and whatnot. So it's been kind of on the downside, but I'm about to be picking that back up soon.
All right.
I'm in.
And what's your socials?
Yeah, at DE3RIC.TV. You can find me on that on TikTok and on Instagram.
Tom.
I feel like, Chris, out of respect for our last conversation, I'm gonna keep the sales pitch off of this one. So you can find me on Instagram at A Ticking Time Tom, and we'll leave it at that. Chris, where can they find you? And if they wanted to support you, how do they do that?
They can go to my website and check it out.
Okay.
Caresnone.com.
Ooh.
And the people who want to buy will buy. People who don't. But eventually, I'm gonna get a link one of these days. Damn it. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Wait. Nick? Wait.
Here's none.
No, you're good. No, it's been so long, I forgot. Damn. All right, y'all. I love y'all. We out. Oh, thank you, y'all. I'm out.